lesson, we're going to be finding the number of solutions of a quadratic equation. So this is what a quadratic equation would look like. It must be equal to 0 when you're solving what we're going to be doing today. And notice, a quadratic has an exponent of a 2. So we have an x squared, or we could have a 2x squared. So let's look at the quadratic formula. Here it is. X is equal to a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all of that over 2a. Notice in red is what we call the discriminant. So if the value of the discriminant, we're going to just substitute values in a minute, is equal to, is positive, then we know there's two solutions. We don't know what the solutions are, we just know that there's two. If the value of b squared minus 4ac is negative, there are no solutions. And if the value of b squared minus 4ac is 0, we know that there is one solution. So if we're using this little rule to help us figure out how many solutions there are, we will not be actually finding the solutions. We're just finding out the number of solutions. So I'm looking at number 1. I have x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. Well, I'm putting a 1 there because that's understood. So we know that a is equal to 1. We know that b, and yes, I circled that subtraction sign, is equal to a negative 3. And we know that c, notice I'm circling this sign in the front, is equal to a negative 4. So now I'm going to go ahead. I always write the formula b squared minus 4ac. I'm going to substitute in the values. And when I put in my b squared, notice I'm putting it in parentheses because I know that I'm going to have to square that negative 3. So it's minus 4, a was 1, c was a negative 4. Well, we know negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And when I multiply these together, I end up, a negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, but negative 4 times a negative 4 is going to be a positive 16. So the value of b squared minus 4ac is positive 25. And with that, we know that there are two solutions. Okay, let's look at the second one. Don't forget, this says the opposite of x squared, or negative x squared, plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Well, I'm putting my understood 1 in there. And when I do that, my a is equal to a negative 1. My b is equal to a 2 because I'm catching that sign in the front. And I started to write a positive 2. I could just write 2. My c, notice, is a negative 1. So that's important to have that information right in front of your face and to even have the little formula b squared minus 4ac. And then substitute in your values. Well, our b is 2, so it's 2 squared minus 4. A was a negative 1, and c was a negative 1. So we know 2 squared is equal to 4, and negative 4 times a negative 1 is positive 4, but then positive 4 times a negative 1 is a negative 4. So 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. And when we have 0 as our value, here it is, we know that we have one solution. So this is actually what they're looking for. Well, how many solutions will we have? That's going to be the question that's asked. They may say, what's the value of the discriminant, which we found, or how many solutions? So looking at the last one, I have, again, a is equal to a 2, b is equal to a, catching the sign, a negative 2, and c is equal to 3. I'm going to definitely write my b squared minus 4ac, plugging in my negative 2 squared minus 4, a is 2, and c is 3. Well, we know negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. And I have a negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times 3 is a negative 24. So it is a minus 24. For our solution, we end up with a negative 20. Well, again, if the value of the b squared minus 4ac is negative, that is no solutions. Finding the value of the discriminant will give you the number of solutions your quadratic equation will have. If this video was helpful to you today, please add a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more Math with Marcia. See you again soon.